Hi, I'm Tony Harmer from Adobe UK, and in this movie we're going to create a cool graphic based on this model with shape. Then we're going to take that into Illustrator, and then we're going to take it into Edge Animate to give it some motion. So let's launch shape. And as you can see, I've got a range of input sources here. Let's use the camera, and I'm going to tap on the screen just to get the preview so you can see the sort of shape here. Let's turn that around. And I can modulate the edges of that sort of threshold with this slider on the side there. And what I'm going to do is just tap again so you can see those edges being generated. And I can change that by switching between a dark or a light background to get the sort of inside and outside edges. Let's take that down and back up again. There we are. So let's just have another look at the shape there. That's pretty good from there, I think. So I'll just tap the button, and this takes me into an editing mode where I can just use my finger here to brush away the parts that I don't want just there. I can zoom in by pinching. There we go. And if I just do something accidentally, so like, whoops, there we go, I got rid of that part of the tire, I can toggle this switch on the bottom left hand corner and paint that back in, as you can see. And once I'm ready, hit the tick. And shape will start to build me the vectors. Now this takes varying amounts of time depending on the complexity and how busy the device is, but that's doing that pretty nicely. And so once that's done, let's just flick that around again and give it a name. Jeep is a good name for this, I think. We are. And hit done or save. And it's in my library, ready for use in other applications. So now I'm going to go to my Mac, and with Illustrator launched, I'm going to create a new file. So I've got a size for my intended web project here, and I'm going to use the 960 by 560 preset. Click OK. So I'm going to go across now to my Creative Cloud Libraries panel. I've got a few different libraries in here, some of which I'm using to collaborate with other people. But this one for this demo has some color themes and some graphics. Just going to drag out this t-shirt, which I downloaded from Market, free graphic. Just bring that across. That's perfect. That will do just there. And then I'm going to turn this into a live paint group, like so, and then switch to my live paint bucket, which I could do by pressing K on my keyboard also. Get to my swatches, choose a green color, and then just basically click in these regions to colour this in. You can see how it only takes a moment to do that. Just finish this off. Fantastic, and that's done. So I'm going to close up my swatches panel now and then reopen my libraries panel. And here's the graphic I made a moment ago. Let's drag that on. You can see it's nice and big in there, but we need to just zoom out just a little bit, and then of course rotate this around, do a couple of other little edits as well, and then resize it. So let's just scale that down. There we go. That's about the size I want it. Just drag it out here while I do some edits. So I'm going to use my zoom tool to zoom in on that. You might notice that the bounding box is larger than the object. There's a little speck in the top left hand corner, and I'm going to use my eraser just to rub that out like so. And while I'm there, might as well do a bit more cleaning up around here. And then also while I'm at it, just do a bit more cleaning up around that shadow that it caught there. You can see it's really easy to just refine this very, very quickly. And I could do so many more things with it too. That's great. So just make sure that's selected. Give it a fill color. There we go. Yellow on green is how I want this one. Zoom out and then drag that onto the shirt. So that's great. I need 2 more copies of this. I'd like to have 3 shirts, and select that one. Alt drag a copy. And then I'm going to use the recolor artwork dialog, switch to edit mode, and link these 2 colors just to change this color harmony. So just pull that around there like so. Perfect. Click OK. And I just want to do one more, so I'm just going to alt drag another copy from there. Then I want a reddish colour here, so again, recolor artwork. I'll just link those two colours. Just pull that around towards red. Excellent. So now I'm about ready to move to Edge Animate, but before I do that, I'm just going to have one of these on my clipboard. So I'm going to go over and select the green shirt and graphic just here, and then copy those. Then I have Animate running in the background, so I'll switch to that. Edge Animate is a fantastic tool. There's a series of lessons helping you to get started with it. It's very designer friendly. And I'm going to create a new document here. And then I'm going to change the size to my intended output. So 960 in there. Then tab across 560 for the size. And then just at the bottom of the document window, I'm just going to drag across that value there just to size that so I can see it clearly. Let's color up the background. I'm going to use a gradient here. Just move that around and switch to the bottom swatch. Change the hue there and then choose a different value. Just tweak that a little bit. There we are. Hit return once I'm happy with that. And the CSS and HTML will be generated. So let's paste in the t-shirt. It's on the clipboard. So it's going to come in as an SVG, a scalable vector graphic. Let's just call it T1. So there, so it'll be resolution independent. Let's tap that like so, click OK. And so that's added, and we'll just drag that into position. So now what I'm going to do is zoom out a little bit. So I'm just going to drag across this value here. And this is our playhead here, but it can also turn into an animation tool. And so I'm going to just drag that backwards to the beginning, then click this icon. I could also tap P to engage the pin. I just drag out that split playhead and then reposition the graphic. You see now if I play, I've done it the wrong way around, but that's easily resolved because I can just click on that span just there that's generated and then choose to invert that. So now if I play again, you can see the shirt comes onto the stage like so. Now I'll hop back to Illustrator and copy the blue shirt. So let's bring that in, copied, then paste it. And the SVG dialog, so we'll call this one T2. Just type that in. And that's added like so. And I'll put that into its position where I want it to be. Perfect. And I can actually copy the animation. So if I click on that and copy it, I can then select the graphic and paste it. And you'll see it's pasted at the playhead position. So if I now just run that, you'll see they run one after the other. And if I switch back to Illustrator again and get the final shirt, so just copy that one up and paste that down. And then we'll just name this one. So T3 in our probably predictable pattern. Let's pop that on just there. Bring that into position like so. That's great. That'll do where it is. I'll copy the animation again. I did have it on the clipboard, but I'll copy it again. And then I'll just paste that down. So you can see that's added. Scroll back a bit. Actually, I might just reduce the size of the timeline just there. So there you are. You can see all three animations in place. Make that a little bit bigger. And then I'll just scroll backwards there and then forwards. So what I'm going to do now is preview this in a browser. So if I just choose preview in browser, and there it is playing like so. Perfect. So all of this in moments, all with HTML and CSS. I want to actually center that stage. So if I switch back and deselect everything, I'll choose this center stage option. I can center on both axes, but horizontal is just fine. And let's preview that again. And there we are. So that's now ready for adding to a web page or deployment on its own or using in DPS.